If you have been looking on how to recreate this dress, or if you have been looking for how to make a denim simple dress, say no more, I got you covered. So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you on how to make this simple dress. It's very easy and straightforward. Let's go over to the tutorial. So in this tutorial, I made use of 4 yards of denim fabric. I got it in Oshodi Market. Oshodi Market is located in Lagos, Nigeria. For you, you might use 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, depending. But I didn't completely use the 4 yards. So I cut about 65 inches, and I will tell you why I cut about 65 inches here. I measured my hip. My hip is 12 inches times 4, making it 48. So what I did here is I did 15 inches, which is 12 inch plus 3 inches, which is going to be the ease allowance and the seam allowance. So I have 15 inches times 4 makes it 60 inches, and then I kept some inches for the button. So if you want yours to be flame more than what I have, what you are going to do is to times your hip by the allowance that you want. For me, this is what mine will actually look like. Mine, I don't want it too flare. So this middle side, I folded it into 2. So this point now is where I'm going to measure the button from. So I'm going to cut the other way because I want to cut everything once. And then that side is going to be my button side. So you fold it like this. You fold it like this and leave about 2 inch for your button. You can leave 2.5 depending, but for mine I left 2 inches. So you can do between 2 inches or 2.5 inches, and that is the space I'm going to leave for the button, and then I will fold it to it. So that side will stand as the button and this side will stand as the cloth which I'm going to be measuring. So from that middle point, you're going to take your measurement of your shoulder behind. So you're going to take a measurement from that side to the other side. So that is the measurement we are going to be taking. You can't take to the button side because the button is not included. So next I took my armhole depth. So your armhole depth, it can be 8 inches, it can be 8.5, it can be 9 inches. And this line I'm drawing is my starting line. So I just use that border line for the jean fabric to actually create my starting line. So you go ahead to draft your armhole depth, and the next measurement you will take is your shoulder to your waist measurement, which I also took. And the next measurement you're going to take, here I'm going to take my hip. So the next measurement you take is from your waist to your hip measurement. For my waist to my hip measurement, I made use of 10, 11 inches depending. Yours can be 9. So remember that this shoulder to waist measurement is your high waist, is not your lower waist measurement. So I'm using the complete fabric for the length of the fabric. That's what I want to do. But for you, if your length is shorter than this, you have to take your shoulder your length of your dress measurement. Now what you're going to be taking now is your measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bust divided by 4, and I'm going to take the measurement, and then I'll be adding the allowance. Remember, your bust divided by 4, and then my bust divided by 4 is 10.75, and then I'm going to take an allowance of about 3 inches. So it depends on the allowance that you want to take. So you take allowance of about 3 inches, remember. So I made an allowance. My own allowance is 2 inch. So half inch out of it is my ease allowance, making my ease allowance total to be 2 inches. And then the remaining one, I'm leaving it for the seam allowance. You take your waist measurement, and then you're going to take 2 inch too as your allowance that you're going to add. The allowance includes the ease and the seam allowance. The next measurement you're going to take is your hip measurement. Now for me, my hip measurement, after taking it, I added 2.5 instead of the 2 inches. Now if you want yours to be as flare as what you have in the picture, because mine is not very flare. If you want yours to be flare as that you have in the picture, remember that you're going to add an allowance of about 4 to 5 inches when cutting. For me, remember, I did my hip plus 3 inches, but you have to do like your hip plus 4 plus 5 inches so that you can create the A-line shape effect that it has in the picture. So what you're going to take is your armhole. So your armhole measurement, I'm going to take half an inch in, and then I'm going to curve it. Also, I took 1 inch down for my slope of my shoulder line. So you're just going to connect it like this. This is going to form your armhole. So the next thing we are going to create is our neck depth and your neck width. So for my neck width, I am taking 3 inches, and for the back neck depth, I'm taking 1 inches. While for the front neck depth, which is the V neck depth, I am taking 7 inches. Now remember, you're going to start from your borderline. So the 7 inches is for the V neckline. So this is what my 7 inches looks like. You see that because I'm wearing it to church, I don't want it that open. Now if you want yours to be very very deep, you can go about going to 9 inch, 10 inch, depending on how deep you want yours to be. But for me, I want to use it for church. So this is what we have the back and the front cut out completely. So the back has the 1 inch depth and the front has the 7 inch depth. So I've cut it out. Now from the picture, they did a basic princess dart, which they slashed from the armhole down to the dress, the length of the dress. But for me, I did not cut a armhole. So I'm going to basically show you what I did. So let's go over to the explanation of what I did, because I didn't actually I did not cut any princess. I wanted to manage the fabric, and which I actually did. Now I've opened both of them. So this is what we are going to do. Now you're going to measure your armhole and do like you're going to take a basic princess dart. You're going to turn that your jean fabrics behind. So whatever fabric you're using to recreate it, be it jean on any fabric, just turn it behind. And you're going to draft a shape like a princess dart cut down to the parts. So I'm just going to do what I'm explaining now. So we have created the dart line. So we're going to create now the stitches. So you're going to measure 1/4 inch, and then you're going to sew a line with the illusion that there is dart at the middle, and you're going to do it on both sides. And from that line, you're going to measure another 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch to sew another line. So in the total, you're going to have 4 lines, excluding that pink line. So you're going to sew 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch to the right, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch to the left, making it 4 stitch, recreating what they have in the picture. Also, I'm going to fold the neckline. So you're going to use either if you have a bias or you want to cut a bias for the denim. But for me, I folded the neckline. I'll fold the neckline, I'll fold the buttonhole for both sides, and then I will sew the stitch and show you what it's going to look like. So this is what it's looking like. You could see that I've stitched everywhere, and I've folded the neckline to make it lay flat. I sew it both sides, and now this is the 4 line stitch, which is going to look like what we have. So there is just no dart here, so it's an illusion. Now for the pocket, I've already gotten like a pattern, which is about 4.5, 5 inches, but you can do 4.5 depending. 5 inches, and the down part is about 6 inches. So I've already created the pattern like this. I'm just going to use it to cut. So I have this piece of fabric that I cut from when I was cutting the dress. So I'm just going to use it for the pocket with the shape of this. I'm going to leave allowance about 1/2 inch or more, so that there will be space behind it, and those space are what I am going to fold in. So if you have an iron, you can go ahead to like fold it on top and iron it. But today when I was doing the tutorial, I did not have an iron. So what I did was I went to the machine to stitch it. Normally you have to have an iron, that if there's light, you're supposed to iron it, and then you would lay it on your clothes and sew it. It was going to lay flat. But for me, I did not have an iron, so I used the method of sewing it on top it directly. So I've gone ahead to sew the pocket. Now the pocket already have its own design that I create. So for you to get your where you're going to place it, I took about 20 inches. You can take 19, 18, 20 for exactly what I have on my own pattern, like on my own dress. you can take about 20 inches. But if you want it beneath it, you go down to 22 inches for the pocket. So I'll go ahead to stitch it, which is going to make 2 stitches. So I'll go ahead to stitch it down to lay it flat, and then I'll go ahead to join the dress. So after laying this pocket flat, you're almost done with the clothes. So what next you're going to do is to go ahead to take out the measurements that you want to take out, maybe your 1 inch from the side. I'll go ahead to join everything, and then I will show you what it completely looks like, because the dress like this is already 80% done. After sewing your pocket, you go ahead to join your side, and then join and fold the down part, and you are done with the dress. Now you have to fix your sleeve. I did not have sleeve tutorial here, but I have sleeve tutorial in my page. You have to cut your sleeve and attach your sleeve to this dress if you want a sleeve. But if you don't want a sleeve, you can go ahead to like bias the armhole so that you will have it as a open hand. So this is what the dress looks like. So beautiful. And I hope you also recreate yours. If you have watched this tutorial and you have gained something, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video, and also share this video to people that will be interested in watching this video and learn something from it. This is what the total look, this is what it looks like, and I wore it to church. Until next time, bye.